What's good, TCGplayer.com? It's your boy Pro Winston here. As most of y'all know, for the new format, I've been trying Madolches. And I did play with the deck in YCS Toronto earlier this month. As most of y'all know, I did not do so well in the event, and that's nobody's fault, you know. I think the right matches was there. I think the momentum was there, but I just couldn't get that oomph. And when I say oomph, y'all can see the deck list above or below. And I just would like to talk to you about some of the cards in the deck that I picked and some of the reasons why. Yep, so I decided to play 3 Maxx Cs in the main deck. The reason I maxed out on Maxx C was because I wanted to put people through the Maxx C challenge. I knew that the format changed drastically, but I still had a feeling. And looking at everyone else's list on YouTube or such, the minute the Forbidden and Limited list hit, I still believe that Dragons was still there. It wasn't the best to me, but it was still there nonetheless. And look what happens. I turned out to be right. So I wanted Maxx C to be in the main deck so I can potentially have them go through the Maxx C challenge, and then I draw into Agors that I didn't play, of course, but they would think I played it, and Effect Veiler. Speaking about Effect Veiler, guys, I decided to max out on Effect Veilers because of the rumored hot deck that was going around, Plants and Tragoedias. And we all know that Effect Veiler is very, very crucial and pivotal in those matchups. Not only that, Effect Veiler was also good against the Insector deck that was coming back to life, supposedly, and the Fire Fist deck. The Brotherhood Fire Fist deck was the most highly anticipated deck only because of the new releases of their TCG exclusives. Now, I don't think there's a big idea behind people being afraid of Mermails. But I can tell you one reason why I was afraid of Mermails. I was afraid of Mermails because even though Dragoons got hit, and that was this, I would say, its main like flow, the deck was still a threat. The deck still had Lindays. To me, it's a very, very good card, and they still had Abyss Spear. So I took it upon myself to main deck 2 copies of Tragoedia. Not because Tragoedia worked well with Maxx C, but just so I can have a good and strong answer to the way they spam the field. Sometimes they might go into the Maxx C challenge and I need to draw into a defensive, I call it, big beat stick. And my big beat stick was Tragoedia. Most people thought it was Gauze. Besides fearing Gauze, guys, you still have to fear the Madolche cards that I decided to play. And that might be no spectacular issue with most people, because all you have to do is just pick up the card and read it. But to me, Madolches are parallel to windups in a way. And I say that because all their cards do tricks, and all their cards combo off with each other for more powerful plays down the line. But I'm not going to go through the whole deck list because you can see it for yourself. I just wanted to touch upon one thing. I decided to play 3 Madolche Messengelatos only because it serves its purpose with the field card, because it then makes the attack of the card 21, and also it goes very, very well with Invoker, the Exceed. That card to me is very crucial only because you will want to bring out Messengelato every time. Now, another confusing tactic that I did that most other Madolche players would understand to a certain amount of understanding, I guess, is Hootcake. I'm sorry. I usually say Hootcake because every time I drop it, I said, oh my God, it's the hotcakes. No. I know a lot of people corrected me and said Hootcakes, and I remember there was one time the guy mind crushed me and said Hootcake, and I wasn't cheating him or whatever, but I was like, hey, I don't have Hootcake in my hand. I have hotcakes. Hotcakes. Now, but anyway, I find that card to be very, very crucial in the mirror match. Only because I believe that the first one that gets their combo off will lose because of the hand traps. But in my deck against anything else, It works very well with the hand traps, Maxx C and Effect Veiler. If I use a hand trap first or second turn, I'm pretty sure guaranteed the best combo that the deck has, and that's spamming off of the Hootcake. You know, if I Maxx C you turn 1 and then you stop, I summon Hootcake, remove the Maxx C, special summon, exceed, you know, bam, 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 chicken wang wang, you know, that combo is just downright dirty, you know, and it won me a lot of games. And as you can see above in the notes, you can see my 8 rounds that I played day 1. It's very important to know how cards interact with other cards to get combos started. Now, a lot of people suggested that I only played 2 Madolche Magileines, and I didn't see the reason why they said that. But I could understand it towards the end of the tournament. I felt like only 2 was necessary. But if you look at my build in particular, I did play Double Summon, and Double Summon was probably MVP of certain games. Going on to my trap lineup, guys, the only thing I would like to talk about is Madolche Nights. It's a card that I use and I decided to play right before I handed in my deck list. I asked a close friend of mine, and he thought it was a good idea for me to try it out at least. It worked out very well. I stopped a lot of cards. I stopped a lot of effects that I didn't want to happen, but it was kind of risky playing it because I was surviving on a whim most of the time, and I was using his effect only because I had access to Hootcake to remove the generic monsters out of my graveyard, just so I could use the effect of Madolche Nights, because you know that Madolche Nights will not activate if I have a monster in the graveyard. A lot of people said, Jarrell, why are you not playing the other broken counter trap? I said, what broken counter trap? They banned Solemn Judgment, and I didn't play that, so what card can it be? They all pulled me towards Debunk. And I said to everybody that I was very surprised that they decided to play with Debunk, only because I did not even think about that card until after the event. And I said to myself, if I was to play with that card again, it will have to be in Madolche's, because I have to try out Debunk. The last time I played Debunk was when I was trying to beat plants over and over and over, but Madolche's and Debunk just seems good because you lose to Gauze, Effect Veil, and Maxx C. And these are all 3 cards that I can use in my deck. But it's all 3 cards my opponent can use also. And when your opponent can use something that you can use also in your deck, you have to watch out and try to stop it. And the best way to stop it is this counter trap card, Debunk. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. And I just would like to say, this deck will need some improvement. Yes, it did go 8 rounds in the tournament, and yes, if luck was on my side, I would have won a couple of the games. Before I end this video, let me just tell you my matchups. I know you can see it above, but I just would like to show you, tell you verbally rather. Game 1, in the Curry matchup that I faced round 1, it was an awesome slaughter on my opponent's behalf. He defeated me in like the first turn, or the second turn of his turn. All right, and game 2 and 3 I beat him because I just dropped everything on the board, brought on my exceed, spun it back, spun it back, spun it back. Round 2, I played Black Wings. This is the Black Wing player that took 4th, actually, and he 2-0'd me. Never got 2-0'd a day in my life so bad. He opened up Black Whirlwind like he had a signed contract with that card. Round 3, I played Fire Fist. That match ended in a draw. Round floor, you get it? Round floor. The reason I say round floor is because I did not believe that I would play in sectors. And I said that I would just start laughing, and I was literally on the floor. That's why I say round floor. But anyway, I 2-0'd that in sector player, and I won mainly because I had the option of going Diddy Crow and Banisher the Radiance. You know, 2 valuable side deck cards that helped me out. And I had Shadow-Imprisoning Mirror, but that didn't really work out too well. Round 5, I played against Chainburn. Probably one of the hardest games I played, but I did have Roy Decree for him. Round 6, I played Tragoedia. It was a 2-1 in the series. And there's nothing I can say about that deck. I find that deck very easy to beat when you're playing Madolche's, when you're maxing out on hand traps. Now, round 7, I played against a friend of mine. He played Dragon Plants, and he had Scrap Dragon and Royal Decree. There was nothing I could do for that. But the highlight of my weekend was playing against Harpies round 8. This deck is so awesome. I will provide the link so you can go and look at the deck profile that I did for him. If you did not see it, guys, I would like you to watch it, take a second, and then think about even making the deck, you know? That's probably all for right now. Stay tuned. I will probably update this deck 2 more times, and then it's on to the Blue-Eye Structure deck. When I have time to analyze that whole deck back and front and back, I'll provide you with a new deck list, the Winston style. Guys, you already know, if it's not pro, it got to go. Deuces.